Supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Well, he wasn't going to play. He was hurting. Strained left calf. Management suggested he sit out. Don't play. Nope. He played all right. Hit one of the biggest shots of his life, and he's hit some big ones. Certainly the biggest shot of the season for the Denver Nuggets. Jamal Murray rolling left, shooting right, splash with 3.6 seconds to go. Ball game, series game, and who knows what else to put an end to. Good morning, and welcome to the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck, glad you're with us on a beautiful Tuesday morning after the Denver Nuggets eliminate the Lakers last night, 108-106, in a thriller up at Ball Arena in Denver. J.J., you said last night, man, they had to win because if not, I know not just as a fan, but I think you said it both as right. I mean, as a radio host, as a fan, as a observer, you really felt that if the Nuggets didn't win last night, this thing could have turned completely, and the Lakers might have come back and made some history.
If the Nuggets walked out of that building losers last night, LeBron James was walking back in, set to make history in a Game 7 back in Denver, because the Los Angeles Lakers, while they lost that series 4-1. There are 2 game winners from Jamal Murray. There are breaks in any fourth quarter that you're going to have in a series. And last night encapsulates the frustration for the Lakers because Jamal Murray did not play a good game. Jokic played one of the worst playoff games I've ever seen him play. And the Denver Nuggets walk out of there victorious in 5 games.
We're going to get into that, and I want you to go deeper on that because you look at numbers, right? And so if you just pulled up a box score and didn't watch the game, you'd say, whoa, Murray was really good, 32 points and 7 assists. You would look at Jokic, another double-double at 25 and 20, and you'd say, well, what are you talking about, dude? But, look, Michael Porter Jr. came up with 26. Can I tell you what I thought was one of the biggest plays again? As they came down the stretch, it was another Aaron Gordon offensive rebound that kept it alive and I think it was Porter who hit the 3 coming off of the Aaron Gordon rebound and what he does. But go a little deeper because it's interesting. This series, and I'll even go back to last year. JJ, it was a 4-0 sweep last year when they played LA. These teams are not that widely separated. So you would say that's 8-1 in the playoffs the last 2 years. The Lakers are 1-12 against the Nuggets over the last, I think it's 2 seasons. And you say, all right, Denver dominated them. And so, yeah, they're dominating the results. But in reality, the games have been insanely tight.
I'll start with Nikola Jokic. He had 7 turnovers. He was playing an uncharacteristically sloppy game and forcing a lot of stuff, especially late in the fourth quarter. He had, I think, 2 full court passes that he threw out of play which you don't expect to see from him. He was not efficient early, but it was the fourth quarter. And the same thing for Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, ball in their hands, they're going to make plays. That's what you trust. But what was frustrating is, again, it was a game where all the pressure that was on the Denver Nuggets, and they still didn't respond early. Or they kept it away from being a double-digit game. They made it so where the Lakers only led by 3 points at the half. And when you are looking forward to Minnesota, like, you're not going to get away with 3/4 of ISO ball from Jamal Murray. Like, they have to be more efficient offensively against a better defensive team in Minnesota. The fourth quarter, you start running that pick and roll, Jamal Murray going downhill, fantastic. But you're going to find yourself in a tougher position defensively against Minnesota. And if you're the Denver Nuggets, you look and say the basketball gods giveth, and they take it away. And there was hurdles for both teams. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope turning his ankle. Anthony Davis getting that stinger changed the game, because that took away how effective the pick and roll was for the Lakers, because Denver had no idea how to slow that down. Denver was switching everything on LeBron James. They got away from doubling in the second half, which is the right thing. You don't double LeBron James and give him that pass, which led to a lot of open three-pointers for the Lakers. It was a wild series where if you just take a step back, you didn't really watch it a lot. You're like, oh, yeah, the Lakers, this is what you expect. This is why they need to fire Darvin Ham, this or that. Like, they were not that far off. And the Nuggets need to take a deep breath and say, man, we had some unbelievable fourth quarters. This is why they did win a championship last year. While Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic can do crazy things, but they have to lock back in, because I think Minnesota is the favorite in that series in the second round.
I was just going to ask you that. I haven't seen any odds. Have you, Vegas odds, on who this favorite is in the next series? So you said so much in there. I don't know what the bigger story is right now, the team who won or the team who lost, and I'm leaning towards the team who lost, because we're going to put them to bed at least for a minute until the next thing happens, and we're going to talk about the Nuggets as they go forward. All of what you said is right, all of that, and yet at the end there they found a way to win, and they made the plays at the end. They get a stop on one end, they get an offensive rebound, they hit 2 big, 3 big, 4 big shots, and so when it came down to it, when it was crunch time, to me, the Nuggets were champions, and here they are, and they're moving on. So, but did they get breaks? Countless through the series, and you take advantage of breaks. And I'm one who tends to believe, in large respect, you make a lot of your own breaks. But did they make the break that Anthony Davis got the stinger? Of course, they did not make that break. But, dude, LeBron James is still that guy. At 39 years old, for him to play. What did he play? The whole damn game, basically 30-something minutes last night. He played 44 minutes last night. How many minutes are in a game? Is it 48?
Yeah.
It is. 44 minutes, 30 rebounds, 30 points, 9 rebounds, 11 assists. I mean, honestly, he's still that dude. Now, is he a number one on a championship team? Maybe not now. Maybe yes is the answer. But he's still unbelievable. Where was everybody else? Austin Reeves hit a big 3, a big shot late in that game. He had 19 points. D'Angelo Russell with 14. Everybody in their starting 5 was in double figures. I look at them, and we're going to get into Phoenix later, because, God, I was listening to Phoenix radio, man. All these people are losing their minds. But if LeBron stays there, and they get a shooter, right, and add another big, JJ, you said
they're not far off. They're
you
not.
said that, yeah.
You look at this team. D'Angelo Russell, he's going to go try to get paid.
Okay.
You tip your cap. That opens the ability, then, which I think could get the Lakers into the Klay Thompson conversation. Just bring in that veteran shooter. Austin Reeves, what he did the last 3 games gives you that trust that he can be that player. And for LA, it's just about Anthony Davis. He played 76 games this year, and Anthony Davis was dominating this series until he got bumped by Michael Porter Jr. That was it. It was nothing that we haven't seen all series long, with dudes trying to make plays in the post, and it was just this slight bump from Porter that threw Davis off. Now that's going to have a lot of people pointing at Anthony Davis and see you can't trust the dude. He's made of balsa wood. He just takes one. It was nothing dirty about it, just a bump in the post, and he got a stinger, and that changed this series. That changed the game because Anthony Davis, the pick and roll, with what they were doing, the Nuggets couldn't defend it.
So you firmly believe that if Davis didn't get that stinger, this is going back to L.A. and the Lakers may be winning the series?
Yes.
Yeah, and it might be right. You might be right, and we'll never know that. He was that dominant. He really was. LeBron was asked afterwards, is this your last game as a Laker? He said, I'm not going to answer that. Everything he does is calculated, and I'm certain that he was prepared for that answer, prepared for that question with that answer. And I'm certain he intended to leave that vagueness and all the questions, and the whole world can talk about his answer tonight, right? Today and tomorrow and the next day. To you, what did that mean?
I think that's just a stock answer. I'm not expecting anyone, unless we know for sure that he's playing his last game, the reports are out, that you're going to take a step back and evaluate it. I believe LeBron James knows what he's doing.
Yes.
And he didn't want to tell the entire world last night. And to me, when you look at the options for LeBron James, it's take the money and stay in LA. It's comfortable. The only other place I would think are places he's been. Does he go back to Cleveland with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, Darius Garland, and is Miami is something that intrigues him? Because I don't see LeBron jumping to Dallas or Philadelphia or something along
Golden State.
Even Golden State at this point in time. I think it's part of it is, he's going to be 40 years old. He's comfortable. He'll be making $51 million on the player option, and he still looks and sees Anthony Davis and how close they were.
Yeah.
And it's a comfortable thing for him, stay in LA.
I think one of the biggest things is he's not going to take a pay cut, or at least a big pay cut. If he goes somewhere, it won't be 51, but he's going to want the max, which is, 44, something along those lines, for if he goes. And I don't know who's got that money under the cap. Golden State certainly does not. So, Golden State is stretched. If you're thinking, well, he's going to go join Steph or Steph's going to come join him, neither one of those two teams have the cap space to make that work unless you're going to trade Anthony Davis for Steph Curry, and that's not going to win you championship. So I think I agree with you. The only wild card here is if somebody drafts Bronny, and what's the progression, the timeline? Is it free agency then the draft, or is it the draft and free agency?
I'll double check, but I believe
free agency opens first.
It might be the draft.
Okay,
Well,
because if he's got the option, if Bronny goes somewhere relatively attractive, JJ, that's got some money, I can see him doing that. But what should he do? All right, we're here for you today. Kenny Thomas will be in at 9 o'clock, we think, and we'll kick it with Kenny. You can get in at 505-246-0610. That's the Sports Animals phone line. That is the Sports Animal text line, 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. On the Twitter or X, it's _JJ Buck. And you can watch the show. Facebook, the OD in the AM. Adrian's producing. You can also watch it on Comcast Channel 26 and on the YouTube channel for ProView Networks. A lot more to get through as we go through Lakers and Nuggets last night. Oh, and there were 2 other games last night. Oh, and, Jim Harbaugh says, who's got it better than me? I don't know. Who's got it better than Travis Kelce right now? Seems like nobody, because he also just got paid. A lot to do. Want your thoughts on what you saw last night. Nuggets eliminate the Lakers. Laker fan, how you feeling? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 610, the Sports Animal.
John.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Try this shit better than all my intentions. And shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
What's going on?
Who are you guys?
Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres. They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make them happy back home, Captain. Who's that? That's your new buddy in jail.
I'm going out, Grandma.
When are you coming home?
I'll be home late. Don't wait up, okay?
Be careful, mijito.
Love you, Grandma.
Mijito, he's a good man. Sometimes he just makes bad decisions. I tell him, mijito, cuidado, be careful. You might hurt someone. He doesn't listen.
I tell you to stop, okay?
Hello. It's me.
Hi, mijo, where are you?
Dale was drinking and driving. I need you to come and get me, okay? Please, Grandma? Can you just come and get me? Grandma?
Leave him in jail.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is Pro View. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on Pro View Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
The NBA, how's it going to survive? It's not going to have LeBron. And it's the same concept I hear about every sport. I hear it about golf all the time. What are they going to do without Tiger? And oh, yeah, life goes on. Look at the quarterbacks. Rodgers and Brady are gone, and Manning. Yeah, they are. And there's a whole new crop and a whole new slew of young players. But holy smokes. Just the perception, 19 years. We haven't gone into a second round of the playoffs without LeBron or KD or Steph, and we are now.
It's an incredible accomplishment for those players, how much that they've invested into the game, what it takes to play at that level, the ability to maintain your body for that long to play. And the thing that, when we're talking about these guys, is they're still the focal point of all their teams. And it's not just, oh, look, it's year 19, and here comes LeBron James off the bench somewhere. No, he's still the focal point. Same thing for Kevin Durant. And you brought it up yesterday, and I was thinking about it a little bit more, about kind of the Kevin Durant versus Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and I guess you can even throw LeBron James in there. Like, who could go on another run? Who has that championship potential? And we just saw the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals last year. I don't like the way the Suns are constructed. I trust Steph Curry just as much as I do LeBron James in terms of making plays on the floor. But I think it could actually end up being Kevin Durant getting another bite at that apple, because of those three, I think he is the most willing to move.
We've seen that.
Yeah, and just go somewhere else. Whereas I do believe Steph's going to finish his career in Golden State. I don't think he's going to be hungry to leave. I think LeBron James finishes out with the Lakers, and so that kind of gives KD that mobility.
Well, I think you're right. I think Steph is going to want to come and build around me, as instead of me go be a piece somewhere. LeBron, it will not stun me if he moves, but he'll be leaving money on the table. Now, you can say he's got all the money he'll ever need, and you might be right, but not if his goal is to buy an NBA team. He's stockpiling. And I'm going to guess, another 10 or 20 million here and there matters at that point. I don't think he will not move. In fact, I'm not convinced he's back in LA next year. Kevin Durant would move. JT, I got off the plane yesterday. I'm in Scottsdale for the league meetings are going on. The Mountain West is here. The Big 12 is here. They got the Fiesta, big Fiesta Bowl thing this week. So everybody will be here in college football. And basketball coaches were all running around. The Mountain West basketball coach meeting was yesterday. I listened to some of the local sports talk radio yesterday, the day after the Suns got swept, and it was hard, man. It was morbid. It was a funeral, and they were at the same place where I was yesterday. How does this team, and they were still trying to get through, how does this team get beat? And I think for the most part, they were over thinking that they're better than Minnesota, but they were at the same place I was. How do you get swept when you have Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker on the same team? And everybody was trying to figure out, well, what if? Are they that close? Because as we sit here and we talk about the Lakers, JJ, your eyes told you the Lakers are close. If the Lakers played Phoenix, I even think the Clippers, Dallas, New Orleans, anybody except
the talk was, do they try to avoid Denver and put themselves in
to get OKC
game just to get in and play OKC?
Yeah, and would they match up better with OKC? Maybe. And would they have, with their veteranness, if that makes any sense, worn OKC down? Maybe. We're never going to know that. Okay, we'll never know. Because then they would have had to play a New Orleans team who I think had a better record in the regular season against them, and would Zion have been there? And we'll never know. But the around here, it was the talk of what are your pieces to trade? It's not like you've got all this draft capital, and they're like, maybe if they didn't make the Durant trade, they still have Mikal Bridges and whatever they traded for Durant. And the talk is, if there's a guy to move, it's Durant. Yeah, because you can't move Beal.
Yeah, contract, what someone would be willing to take on. It's, you have to have that conversation because that team has nothing. That team does not have any first-round picks available for the next 5 years.
Right. How many?
5 years.
Holy smokes. Yeah.
And this is one where you look in the mirror and you have a brand new ownership group and you thought, yeah, we're going all in, we're getting Bradley Beal, but it's a poorly constructed basketball team. If you give me Durant, Booker, Nurkic at center, and then start finding role players, I think it's a different feeling than trying to make Bradley Beal into this facilitator, off ball, not a scorer. Bradley Beal's gone through his injuries, and it was evident. And this is a team in Phoenix, where it's the difference between the regular season and the postseason. Phoenix was 3-0 in the
against
regular
Minnesota
season versus Minnesota.
Yeah,
but that does not mean that you're a well-constructed playoff basketball team.
Well, it doesn't, and so to your point, they have no assets to trade. The only one they have is Durant. Bradley Beal has a no-trade clause. You're not moving Booker, and you have no first-round picks. So it's free agency. Hey, come to Phoenix. It's great weather and the beautiful women, and come hang out. It's a great place to live. Okay. Or go to Minnesota, freeze your butt off, and play on a really good team and have a chance to win a championship, right? Do you think, how do they do this?
I got to look up the details on KD's contract, but would you, if you're Golden State?
How do I afford it? What am I trading?
You could probably sign and trade Klay Thompson. You could throw Kuminga in there. Maybe even Andrew Wiggins' contract could be a part of that.
Trade. No, I don't think I am.
Oh, I'm 100% doing that. Andrew
you
Wiggins,
are. So you think you can?
Normal. He's not that dude. He had his run, helped them win a championship.
Kuminga?
Oh, absolutely.
So you think you could win with Steph, Durant, and Draymond, and throw pieces around? Okay, I'm listening. Boy, that'd be something, wouldn't it? I mean, that'd just be something. All right, when we come back, is it the coach's fault? Darvin Ham, Frank Vogel, the guys who got beat, the head coach of the Lakers and the Suns, their futures are in doubt. Look, man, in the NBA, you don't blame the players. It's got to be the coaches. Darvin Ham, is it his fault? Should he be fired? Frank Vogel, will he be fired? And what's next? And, yeah, there were 2 other games last night. One of them ended a series. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE. Refractive lens exchange, the latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexico.
2 Men On with Van and Fred. Weekdays from 4 till 7 on 95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
JJ's Nuggets, JJ's Nugs, says Richard. Jeff, it feels like if they aren't standing in that McNichols Arena winner's circle last night, they might as well have handed those state championship belts to the Lakers and that guy. And that's how you felt, JJ. If the Nuggets didn't win last night, this thing may have been historically bad for Denver and a little history for L.A., but instead, Jamal Murray hits a, describe it, fadeaway, running left, shooting right, like a running jump shot. Is that from 15 feet from the left elbow?
Step back jumper from the left elbow, the Jamal Murray series.
Step back jumper, left elbow.
He was unbelievable in the fourth quarter. And for as well as L.A. played, Denver was able to dig deep and make clutch plays. They did in the close games in the fourth quarter. That's how they won this series. And I also want to credit Michael Porter Jr. And going in there, he had to be the second best player on the floor. Multiple games for the Nuggets to win this series. And all he did was average 22.8 points, 8.4 rebounds, shoot almost 50% from three.
Hit that again. No, hit those stats again, because it can't get lost what he did.
Yeah. 22 points, 8 rebounds, and almost 50% from three. And this is how you sustain success and consistency. And Michael Porter Jr. is playing the best basketball of his career right now.
And it cannot be lost what he's going through. And Michael Porter Jr., to your point, whether he needed to be the second or third best player on that team, and you said second, and so I'll go there. The week this series started, one of his brothers got suspended, basically kicked out of the NBA. Suspended for life is kicked out of the NBA, right?
Yes.
That's how his brother made his living in the NBA, or well, evidently, gambling. But he got suspended for life, a lifetime ban from the NBA for gambling. That's pretty bad. You love your brother. His other brother got sentenced to 20 years in prison. And I remember talking to my brother. My brother's a big Laker fan. I told this story on the air, JJ. And my brother's like, dude, Michael Porter Jr. is going to be a mess. He's human and everything he's going through. And if the Lakers win game one, they're going to win this series. And I'm like, whoa, dude, that's a pretty bold statement. He's like, nope, that dude, they need that dude. And there's no way he's going to be able to fight through that. Just think what he's going through. That dude's going to be a mess. The Lakers are going to win the series. I'm like, all right, Laker boy. I'm like, hold on to what you got to hold on to. He's like, man, what do you want me to do? My team's going to win. I'm like, all right, good. Not really. But I don't think the human toll should be lost on what that young man is going through. And maybe, it's better that it happened right before the playoffs as opposed to happen in the middle of the summer when he didn't have the distraction or work to something else to concentrate on. I don't know. People deal with stuff differently. But all I know is I am insanely impressed with how that young man was able to go to work with everything he had going on in his life.
And it's also one that it's really good that there was no stories connecting Michael Porter Jr. to anything.
That's right.
Of helping his brother out, anything along those lines, because then it gets even more messy. It's then is Michael Porter Jr. going to have to go, my brother stole my banking information, and go down.
His name is Ipe.
Road. Yeah. And so there wasn't that mess. And I think this is one where you see the stories, you see the headlines, and I don't even know how much Michael Porter Jr. had to address it, because I think if you're a reporter covering the series, I think you probably just asked him, do you have thoughts on this? No. And then this is one where I don't really have to dig anymore. Like what?
Yeah.
You're just digging to dig at that point.
Well, but it's a difference between addressing it and dealing with it. I wasn't even thinking of dealing with it in the media. I'm just thinking of dealing with life, right? And to your point, there was not a story that I saw that connected Michael Porter Jr. other than his name associated because it's his brother. I'm really glad somebody didn't do a story that found some morsel and spun it into some stuff that obviously wasn't there. Because if it was there, we'd know by now, right? If Michael Porter Jr. was connected at all with his brother, we'd know by now. Yes. And it would have been really easy for someone to somehow try. You know some people in our business. Right, they look for that kind of stuff. So it's insane. Others last night, Oklahoma City eliminates New Orleans 97-89. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander 24-10. Jalen Williams 24-8. They advance. New Orleans never stood a chance without Zion. They just didn't. It was a 1-8 series that was competitive in game one, and after that it was the 1 seed. And this was a really, really good series for Oklahoma City to start. And I say it because of this. They're different than Minnesota. To your point, Minnesota's made up of a lot of veterans who are just now coming of age. This group, there's not a whole lot of playoff experience there. And for them to get it with New Orleans and kind of get their feet under them and get this confidence going into whether they're going to get Dallas or the Clippers, it felt perfect for them. Boy, if it was the Lakers on the other side, who knows what would have happened. And they're in a stride right now. I'm not telling you they're going to win the next series, but I certainly feel pretty good about them winning the next series.
Oklahoma City is really the first case study of a team being this good with no experience in the postseason. You go back to last year, you can say Sacramento, but they were a 3 seed. No one really thought about them as are they conference contenders. They had a really good year, young, but though this
and they won a series, right? They won a series. Yeah, because they got Golden State in the second round, and Golden State was like
the first round series.
It was a first round series?
Yeah, because the second round Lakers and Nuggets went to the
Okay. All right, so then they didn't win a series.
They lost in 7 games to Golden State. But when you're comparing it to OKC, we're talking about a team that won the Western Conference. When we're talking about how insane it was, 1 through 10 this season, 57 games, the same amount of wins as Minnesota and Denver. And so it's a different conversation. It's, they don't have experience, but when you're the 1 seed, you have expectations of advancing to the conference finals of whatever conference you're in.
I think that's right. And look, Sacramento was they ran into Golden State. I think it would have been somewhat similar if Oklahoma City would have run into the Lakers.
That's a really good point. New Orleans was good, but even with CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, they didn't have that edge. And it's a credit to how good Oklahoma City is right now with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander leading that crew.
Look, teams that are playing without their star, aside from Kawhi and the Clippers now, are not. Look how they're not faring very well. I mean, without Zion, the Pelicans are struggling. How are the Bucks doing without Giannis Antetokounmpo and Damian Lillard? Right? I mean, this is a star-driven league. It is. It is. Whether you realize the stars. I mean, Embiid's playing, but that's not fair. That one. I mean, he's pretty healthy. When you get here, and you're an 8 seed without your best player, you're not winning. I mean, with all due respect, the 8-1 game, and as tight as the West is this year, and as comparable as those teams were, Oklahoma City's better than New Orleans. Right? Oklahoma City's better than New Orleans with Zion. Without Zion, this was what it was. And so, to me, if I'm Oklahoma City, this was perfect, man. Like, it gives me the confidence. I got my feet wet. That first game was kind of weird. I struggled, but then I rolled them. I get some time off. I let the Clippers and the Mavericks beat the hell out of each other because the next one's going to be really, really tough, whoever they play. And I got confidence. All right, this is what the playoffs is about. I understand the difference, the officiating, the physicality, the grind. All right, I'm ready, and we just won a series. It couldn't have worked out any better. If they'd got the Lakers on the other side, I'm going to tell you, I think the Lakers would have beat them.
You're in for a longer series.
Yeah.
You're right. You would.
But then you're playing here, right? The mind game, as you go into a deeper series, becomes more of a factor than it does in a short series, right? The what if we lose this game, and you got the master of the mind game in today's game on the other side in LeBron. And so, this was perfect for them. And then Boston wins last night in Miami, 102-88. Derek White went bonkers last night. 38 for Derek White. Tatum had 20 and 11. But they lose Porzingis to a calf injury. I haven't seen it this morning how serious or how long they expect him to be out.
And the calf is the new ankle, is the new
kind of,
tweak. What's going on? And if you're Boston, you did what you had to do the last 2 games. Heat culture can't exist without Jimmy Butler. You can't be messing around in that series. And now, giant question mark, though, Kristaps Porzingis. Like, that team is still good enough to compete, and it looks like they're going to line up with Indiana, which is just going to be an incredible up-and-down series.
Put Miami on the list, though. Teams playing without their superstar, right? It's an 8-1 series, and they're without their superstar. I mean, you're playing the 1 seed, so it's going to be you're going to have to find magic anyway. And now you're without your best player, you can't win. You just can't. And that's where we are. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Transfer portal closes tomorrow. Lobo fans still holding on. The portal moves a little bit for the Lobos. You got, you're holding on. One more day. Will you get there? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
There are over 2,000 players in the transfer portal, JJ, for men's college basketball. Today is the 30th of April. It's a 30-day month, correct? So it'll close tomorrow. So far, Lobos' Jamal Mashburn Jr. and Sebastian Forsling are the guys who've gone in. Braden Applehans went into the portal and came back yesterday. I was kind of, I don't know, glad to see. I hope he gets a chance. Like, I want to see how good Braden Applehans can be. Don't you?
Yes, he's 6'7". You're looking for that wing piece. Now maybe it's, we'll see how he does in just terms of his strength development. But you feel like, yeah, that kid can be a factor on the wing, and defensively with his length plus his shooting, that's what this team needs. Maybe they don't get the the slasher 6'6" guy you're looking for to just bully everyone inside, but it's an opportunity to show his development, get back on track, be a shooter that everyone says he can be. And when you have John Tanji, who was the 6'6" wing guy coming in, and is like, nope, actually, I'm going to Wisconsin. And you're like, hey, Braden, well, guess what? Spot's available still.
So he came back and took it, which I'm glad to see. This has been a tense month for a Lobo fan, right? I mean, just riding this out, trying to keep everything together. As of now,
with that, just real quickly, do you think it's real, or just kind of some of the hype they're trying to build with all the retention talk and the countdown to the transfer portal, the day that 505 Sports Venture has been doing, like 5
I
days,
didn't see
4
that.
days. Yeah, so they've been doing like this countdown, and just, trying to get involvement. Of course, what you do, you raise money to pay your players. That's where we're at. And so they've been doing this thing, 11 days till the portal closes, 5 days till the portal closes. Just trying to get money in, which is their job. But do you think that's added to the anxiety at all? Knowing that Lobo fans are sitting there like, oh my gosh. 5,
yeah, I think so.
4,
Yeah,
3,
I think
2.
I think knowing it's there every day. Yeah, I think yes. I think the fact that the Lobos have been good at this level, back to the NCAA tournament for the first time in a decade, that you've got a core of players that would be attractive in the portal, watching everything that's happening, and that there is a real deadline, which is tomorrow. JJ, are you going to be surprised if we sit here, whether it's tomorrow morning or Thursday morning, and we're talking about one of your studs in the portal? Let me just tell you, I'm not going to be surprised if I hear JT Toppin's in the portal.
It's one of those situations where you got to convince yourself that never say never. But when it gets to this point, there would be a shock across Lobo.
Shock for whom?
Lobo fans.
Yes.
Because you get to this point, you wrote out the countdown to this point, and if something were to happen, the day before, the day of, the final day enter the portal, you're just kind of like, why now? What happened?
Will that hurt more than if it would have happened on the 14th or the 17th?
Like it still hurts, but it would be, I do believe it's a bigger shock. I think getting to this point, the Lobo fans feel like they've ridden out this storm.
But you haven't yet. I mean, you just haven't.
When you look at the other teams, like San Diego State had another player go in the transfer portal yesterday.
Yeah, Emmanuel Sanders went in yesterday.
And so you're seeing all these stories, but you've been really the team that's been able to hold up.
Yeah, no, I was watching the ticker yesterday. I mean, look, that's my point. You got dudes entering yesterday. Texas A&M, Florida State, San Diego State, Georgetown, Ryan Mutombo went in. SMU all had players go in yesterday. And you're like, well, why now? Why? I mean, look, 2 days ago, Kansas State, Dayton, and Georgia Tech. 3 days ago, BYU and Michigan State. I mean, there's dudes that are still going in. And the deadline's there. How many of us, JJ, wait till the deadline, the very last second to get anything done, right? Whether it's pay a bill, whether it's enter an application, whether it's, right? I mean, honestly, When's the deadline?
That's fair.
and we use all the time we've got, right? And so what makes us think that in the next, what is it, less than 48 hours, 36 hours, there's not going to be a slew of dudes who have used their time to take their entirety of time to consider their options.
And that's why I wouldn't be shocked. But if it got to this point, it would hurt more than if it happened earlier.
Yeah, no, I get that. And I think you're right, by the way. I'm telling you, it's not going to shock me if, and I might be more surprised if Donnie goes in, Donovan Dent. But, and I'm not telling you it's happening. I don't know, man. I just get me the finish line if I'm Lobo fan, is what I'm saying. Because I'm watching teams everywhere. And by the way, the portal thing in collectives and who's out spending who. Was talking to a Big 12 athletic director yesterday. I'm not going to tell you who. Their collective almost couldn't make their final payment to players. And because we're talking about sustainability. Well, because that particular team didn't do as well as the fan base expects, and they're like, you want me to keep coming back and giving you money? And they got outspent. And they lost players. And I mean, we're going to get into the NCAA and collective bargaining with the SEC and the Big Ten here in a little bit. But, yeah, your thoughts as we get closer to the portal. 505-246-0610. The portal closes tomorrow. How you feeling, Lobo fan? Are you getting nervous or are you feeling better? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like me, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Mexico.
For 5 years running.
It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, and JJ Buck.
Not that I'm counting, but I think it's 7 out of 8 years, if I'm not mistaken, is the running total. But we'll check that. Maybe one day we'll update it. I'll get with DC, see if he maybe, I don't know. What's up? It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Happy Tuesday to you. Really happy if you're a Nugget fan. They finished off the Lakers last night. Is it a yeah buddy moment or a whew moment? I mean, how you feeling more as a Nugget fan? Like, oh yeah buddy, buried those fools again, or whew, got out of there, let's move on?
It starts with yeah buddy, and then you finish with whew, what a series. Because it was. If you're the Lakers, there's going to be a lot of second guessing yourself. There's going to be a lot of overthinking that occurs in the offseason because they played a really good series. The fourth quarter, though clutch time moments, it went to the Denver Nuggets. Jamal Murray, 2 game-winning shots. Unbelievable, because then you're looking at 2 overtime games that are back to a coin flip. If you're the Lakers, a game last night that Jokic didn't make plays until the fourth quarter, but that's what elite players do, is they can go 2-3 quarters without making an impact and then absolutely change the game. And it's going to be remembered as the Jamal Murray series, with everyone finally giving Michael Porter Jr. his flowers because he earned them in round 1.
Yeah, he did. No, he did. And look, it's been Jokic and Murray have been the face of that franchise, and rightfully so. And by the way, Jamal Murray hit the big shot last night, and you look at the numbers, and Jokic with his 7 turnovers still at 25 and 20, and he was still, what you said, maybe his worst playoff game, was still pretty damn good. How is he? Anthony Davis was really good against Jokic. When Davis was healthy, I could make an argument that Davis was better than Jokic. Can you go there with me? I mean, could you listen to that argument?
I'm listening.
Yeah. Next series, it's Gobert against him or Karl Anthony Towns against him? It's probably Gobert, right?
But mostly Gobert.
Right? Gobert is considered, as is Davis, one of the elite big man defenders in the NBA, is he not?
Yes, he is. Defensive Player of the Year candidate.
Right? So how does this series go in the next round? Because matchups are everything. We talk about it all the time. I mean, people talk, oh, it's seeding, it's matchups. Who do you get? The NCAA tournament. Well, NBA, it's seeding, it's matchups. Okay, so here's your matchup. Look, man, Minnesota matches up with Denver really well. Gobert is as good a big man defender as there is. They've got 2 bigs with him and Towns. Anthony Edwards is a freaking star. I haven't seen the Vegas odds on the series, but I will not be surprised if Minnesota is the favorite to win this series.
I wouldn't be either. While one is the 3 seed, one is the 2 seed, they finished with the same overall record. The way it matches up inside, you're throwing Rudy Gobert, Karl Anthony Towns. I really like how Minnesota has rotated those 2, especially in tight situations late in the fourth quarter, getting the offense, defense, but they've shown they can both play on the floor together. And it starts with Anthony Davis, who's asserting himself into superstardom, a guy that can take over a game.
Anthony Edwards.
Yes, excuse me, Anthony Edwards, that has that mentality that you need in the fourth quarter, that nothing is going to stop him, nothing is going to get in his way. And he's also a playmaker. You look at Edwards, and he'll chip in 4 or 5 assists, where he's not just going ice the ball the entire time. And that's a team that is built well. You still have to have a semblance of balance to win at a high level in the NBA. And the T-Wolves have that with experience. You look at Conley. Gobert's been in the league for a while. Same thing with Karl-Anthony Towns. Karl-Anthony Towns is 28, 29 years old. So he's seen a lot of basketball. The interesting thing is going to be, what does the coaching voice play in that series? Because it looks like their head coach, Chris Finch, could end up having knee surgery. And so are we getting a throwback to when, was it Georgia State's coach when he
had that little roller?
The roller, is that going to be Chris Finch is hoping he can get away on the sidelines? But this is set up to be just an epic series.
So Anthony Edwards was asked the other night, what is it? How have you become? I don't even remember what the setup question was, but as you've risen to this stardom and gotten better, and his answer was, "Man, I just want to kill everything in front of me." it was just such a great answer, man. I just want to kill everything in front of me. And I don't know, who's that reminiscent of, right? I mean, you think of the greats. You think of Jordan. You think of Kobe, right? Don't you? When you hear that mentality, and it's one thing to say it, and it's another thing to do it, and he's becoming that dude. I think plenty of guys say it. A lot of guys grew up listening to Kobe and wanting to be that. It's another to feel that way and then be able to go out and execute it, and that's what this guy's doing. This series fascinates me, and I knew the West would. Whatever the next Oklahoma City series is, whether it's the Clippers or Dallas, fascinates me. So all three of the West series are over, right? Right? Denver's moved on, Oklahoma City's moving on, and Minnesota's moving on, right?
Yeah.
Nothing's over in the East yet, is it? It isn't. They're still going.
Two could be tonight.
Okay.
Knicks 3-1 lead, Pacers 3-1 lead.
Yeah. And I think they both do finish tonight, don't you? I don't know how Milwaukee's going to win without Giannis and Damian Lillard.
And the Dame one came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Two over the weekend. So.
Yeah, I just look, man. You're going to take one superstar away, but those are your two. Name me the rest of the starting lineup for. I mean, you can, but your buddy. Can your buddies name me who's starting? Three dudes who are starting tonight for the Milwaukee Bucks.
And then Chris Middleton got banged up.
No, but he'll play.
One of their bench players, Pat Connaughton, got hurt. Then it didn't help that Bobby Portis got thrown out in the first quarter.
All right, help me. What are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
All right, so Giannis is out. Did you just not want to be there anymore? Giannis is out. Lillard's out. It's got to be you. And 7 minutes into the game, you're going to get ejected in a playoff game? What are you doing?
Pulling the Draymond Green.
I just... look, there's stories of pro athletes who just and professionals who just don't want to be there, but you can't do that in a playoff game. Did I ever tell you the story about a buddy of mine who was a AAA manager and had a tee time for a day game?
No.
He had
thrown out.
Yeah, so he tells the story and way better than me. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but he was a manager in the Pacific Coast League, and he had, I think, a 1 o'clock tee time, and the game started at noon, and he started barking at balls and strikes. And you can't bark balls and strikes. You argue balls and strikes. And argued balls and strikes, went out, got in the umpire's face, got thrown out, and was walking through the dugout. See you, boys. Got a tee time. He hit his 1 o'clock tee time. It happens. I mean, I guess in the middle of the season,
at a point in the season, you're just like, I need some time.
Well, that was before you were getting every Monday off, right, in the PCL, right? And I mean, I'm sure it gets to be, they talk about the dog days. It's like, man, I need a day off. And so we got thrown out in the first inning and went and played golf. And look, it happens, but it can't happen like I'm not telling you that's what Bobby Portis did, but I'm not telling you it's not what he did. I'm going to guess he didn't have a tee time for a night game on the road. But you got to be there. You just got to be there. And I don't know, man. I don't know where it's coming from. All right, Kenny's going to join us. We'll kick it with Kenny coming up at 9 o'clock this morning, looking to get his thoughts. I want your thoughts on the portal. As how you feeling? Are you feeling better, or are you like ultra nervous as we're getting closer and closer to this thing closing? I just got a weird feeling. JJ, I know human nature. I know I drag everything out till the end. I know a lot of people just drag it out to the end, and there's whatever it is, 39 hours left to go in the portal. And Lobo fan, how you living on this? at 505-246-0610. I probably should give the number out a little bit more. 505-246-0610, and emails jeff@sportsanimalabq.com, jj@sportsanimalabq.com. When we come back, who's got it better than Travis Kelce? Not even Jim Harbaugh, I don't think. And the Raiders sign a former Cowboy receiver. We'll do that when we come back. International Protective Service watches my home. They do amazing things. They heard you when you asked for their help to protect businesses and homes in Santa Fe. Lots of calls coming in for service up there. And if you live in Santa Fe and you're concerned about threats to your property, call IPS. In Albuquerque, police response is still hours, especially for home and business break-ins. So in most cases, IPS is there within 7 minutes or less. They'll install alarms and camera systems and monitor those cameras 24/7 to raise the level of security around your home or your business. You've noticed IPS officers at local retail outlets, Targets, Walmarts. IPS making a difference for them, and they can help you too. They help me every single day. They're by my house on a daily basis. Keeps bad guys away. My neighbors feel more secure. My family does. Look, home is a place of security. If someone breaks in, it's devastating for that sense of security. Let IPS keep their eyes on your home, on your business around the clock. Their number is 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. Passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better places to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mir here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a...
Yeah, I made that the other night. It's a significant raise. So $17 million fully guaranteed for this season. The rest will be guaranteed by the 3rd day of the league year next year, which you got to believe. I mean, he'll get it. He's earned it. JJ, I don't know where you put him amongst the great tight ends. We don't have this conversation very often. Who are the great tight ends in history, and whether you like Kellen Winslow or Dave Casper, or you like whoever Tony Gonzalez, and I mean there's Antonio Gates. There's been some great ones, but as far as pass catching tight ends, I mean the guy's ahead of Jerry Rice in postseason playoff catches at 165. He leads everyone. He's got to be right. I mean, Gronk's got to be on that list. He's got to be right up there near the top, right?
Yes, I think as the careers for Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates numbers they put up, I think Rob Gronkowski and Tony Kelce have passed them. And I think when it's all said and done, Tony Kelce, Travis Kelce. Where am I? I'm so off on names today. Travis Kelce will sit at the top of the list, ahead of Rob Gronkowski, with Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates there, and then you can start going back.
I think Kellen Winslow was unbelievable.
Shannon Sharp, Kellen Winslow. Yeah, they're unbelievable. But I do think that where you can say, all right, there's the case for maybe the most talented ever, or just who's the the Dan Marino of the position, versus all right, you give those dudes credits for performing on the biggest stage, and Rob Gronkowski and Travis Kelce got it done in the postseason.
Would do the numbers in this case, will that dictate the best? Because I think Travis Kelce will end up with the numbers. I mean, dude, I'm going to just tell you, my eyes told me at his prime, in his prime, peak to peak to peak. And this is, again, when you say Michael's better than LeBron, you're not bagging on LeBron, right? We're talking about the absolute creme de la creme of this position, the best we've ever done it. Gronk, my eyes told me Gronk was as good as I've ever seen.
And that's absolutely fine, because if you're talking about a tight end and you want to say that whoever your tight end GOAT is, you want a little bit of blocking, then you're going Rob Gronkowski. You might be thinking about some of the older school guys at the position as opposed to Travis Kelce. And Travis Kelce might get his body in the way, but that dude is just going to settle down and make catches and make plays.
I also think eras dictate this. And I think whenever we have these conversations, I don't care if it's about quarterback or pitcher or center or whatever, pick it, golfer, I think eras dictate it, right? And the fact that the modern era, and I will call that the last, for this argument, the last 20 to 25 years, tight end has become so much more part, and even in the last 8 to 10 years, tight end has become so much more part of the passing offense. You know, when Winslow was doing it, when Dave Casper was doing it, even Shannon Sharp to that extent, it was a luxury, don't you think? Now it's almost, man, you better find yourself a pass catching tight end. Look what the Raiders did.
Still a bit of a luxury in the game, because a lot of the guys, because it's still a position where, depending on your offensive style and what you ask these guys to do, we're seeing more of a shift to willing to have the pass catchers versus the traditional blockers, because we're in a really fun spot when it comes to tight end. What Sam Laporta did last season was phenomenal.
Yeah.
We've seen George Kittle. Another name I'm going to throw in there, don't forget, when we were kind of talking about the era of Jason Witten, in terms of pass catching tight ends.
Do you know what tight end in the history of the game has? Would you know the top three in receiving yardage? Receiving yards, top three tight ends in the history of the NFL.
Is it Witten, Gonzalez, Kelce?
No. Two of those guys are on the list in the top three, and you got them in the wrong order. But it's really good. So Tony Gonzalez is number one, 15,100 plus yards, 127, which is almost 2,000 yards better than Jason Witten at number two. I mean, almost 2,000 yards better. And then Antonio Gates is number three. 11,841. Kelce will get him this year. Kelce's roughly 520 yards, 510 yards behind him. And then Shannon Sharp is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then Gronk is next at 92.86. And Gronk was damaged, hurt so much, right? How many games played? Yeah. All right, so here's my argument. Gronk is, what I tell you, 6th on the list all time? Gronk played 143 games, which is by far the lowest on the list until all the way down to Kellen Winslow. And he's way down the list. What he did, and that's why my eyes told me. Now, if you're going to tell me the argument I always give you, what's the best ability? He missed a lot of games with injury. But Gronk is 6th on the list at 143 games. What's 143 and 143? It's like 290. So he played, Tony Gonzalez played 270 games. It's almost twice as many. Yeah, I guess I don't know how we went down this rabbit hole, and it was on Kelce. The point is Kelce got paid, and he's that good. 907 receptions, 74 touchdowns. NFL record, 165 catches for almost 2,000 yards and 19 touchdowns in the postseason. Yeah, he's that dude, man. And now he's a crossover star, and he's on commercials, and he's dating Taylor Swift, and he's on Saturday Night Live, and he's made himself a brand. And incredibly valuable.
He's another one of those athletes that is just doing what you don't expect. He's going to be 35 years old next season, and they just made him the highest paid tight end in the NFL.
Yep.
It's a credit to Kelsey. It's a credit to that system, and a belief that, his regular season numbers were good. They just weren't wow. And so that's why you felt, Travis Kelsey, he's age is finally getting. Yeah, he was banged up. He had a bum knee to start the season. And I think some of that, too, is not just the straight football talk, but I think fantasy football trickled on a little bit when you expect him to be the score like wide receivers, and he's not, and you're like, Travis Kelsey's having a down season, and you're like, he's a top 3 tight end in yards and receptions. I had 5 touchdowns, and I think some of this too is Kansas City just giving him a reward for the next 2 years. But I still think you're going to see him be consistent and then just be dominant in the playoffs.
I think there's a couple things. First of all, he is worth more to that franchise now than he was a year ago because of Taylor Swift. And I think they're banking, if this relationship stays together, more eyes are on their product and more people are buying their stuff. Think about it. I mean, how many more people watch Chiefs games because Taylor Swift might be shown on the damn screen up there with Mama Kelsey and what's her name, Brittany Mahomes, right? As silly as you might think it is, I think that's a reality. And yeah, I think there's part of it that, it's a Lifetime Achievement Award. The other thing is, JG, has there ever been anyone in the history of this game that it was like how the hell is he always wide open guy? I know they're going to 87. He's the how the hell is he always wide open guy? Always. All right. Told you yesterday Ezekiel Elliott was signed with the Cowboys. A former Cowboy receiver, former Mountain West guy, Colorado State, played in the New Mexico Bowl against Marshall. Michael Gallup, 1-year deal with the Raiders, up to $3 million. It's an interesting group of pass catchers they got there now. Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers. They got Trey Tucker's there. They got 2 tight ends. There's a lot of weapons for, Gardner Minshew now?
Yeah, Gardner Minshew got a multi-year deal to go in there and compete with Aiden O'Connell. I think Gardner Minshew wins the job. And they're a feisty, competitive team offensively. And that's Michael Gallup, man. He's a wide receiver 3 in the NFL that can make big plays occasionally. And it's
when he's healthy.
And that's a fine spot. It makes a lot of sense. You're looking for some depth for the Raiders to add the receiving core, especially now that you have Brock Bowers coming in, who I'm expecting a Dalton Kincaid-like performance this season, what Dalton Kincaid did last year as a first-round pick for the Buffalo Bills, one of those flex tight ends. And Minshew can win you some games, man. He can keep you competitive. They were not in, when you have 6 quarterbacks going in the top 12, the Raiders just did not have the ammunition to get there and get one of those guys.
Raiders are intriguing, man. Raiders, you got to have a quarterback to win. I think it's well established. But I look at the division, and there's Kansas City. I think the Chargers are good. I don't think the Broncos are good. And I look at the roster. Look, man, if Gardner Minshew, and right now Aiden O'Connell's listed as the number 1 quarterback, if he can give you solid quarterback play, I don't know that I love who's running the football, although it's an interesting group of Zamir White, Alexander Madison, and Amir Abdullah. So I don't know if they got a guy. But I think defensively, especially up front, they're pretty good. They got a ton of guys to catch the ball. Like, the Raiders really, really intrigue me.
Yeah, they're one of those teams that's getting close to being a quarterback away. Their biggest free agent signing was Christian Wilkins. They got a stud defensive tackle. You got Max Crosby. You're going to get to the quarterback. They're close.
Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610. We're expecting to kick it with Kenny, right, at today's Tuesday. So at 9 o'clock this morning, former Lobo great and 11-year NBA veteran Kenny Thomas is due to be with us. We'll talk about what happened in the playoffs and moving forward. When we come back, potentially revenue sharing in college athletics. Is that what's going on with the SEC and the Big Ten? Revenue sharing with the players? And what does it mean? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 610, the Sports Animal. It's a business.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet.
Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Sports Illustrated has got an article out. Darvin Ham's job is in jeopardy, which it might be, the Lakers coach, after they lose in the first round to the Denver Nuggets on Jamal Murray's shot last night. And so it says potential replacements, and one of them is Frank Vogel. And I'm like, I stopped reading after that. Isn't Frank Vogel the guy they fired 2 years ago because he couldn't get him past this? Now he's coaching Phoenix, and he might be fired in Arizona?
Yep.
Same dude, right?
Same Frank Vogel.
All right, just want to make sure I understand it, because they're about done with him in Phoenix, and it's not his fault in Phoenix either. I landed in Arizona yesterday, was listening to Sports Talk Radio, and they're losing their mind. But I will give most of the guys and the callers credit. They weren't blaming it on the coach. And I know in the NBA it's the coach who gets whacked like that and has to take the hit. But they realize that the way the Phoenix Suns were constructed, without a point guard, just here, give me three ball-dominant scorers, that somehow you're going to go out and win. And they weren't. They got swept. And they're realizing, man, this is the way this. Frank Vogel couldn't have done anything with this. And I actually was quite impressed. It was more, they were just depressed, dude. More than angry, they were just depressed.
Hey, get swept like that, and even if it's a poorly constructed team, you figure Devin Booker and Kevin Durant can win you a game,
right?
In the playoffs, when you look at the scoring numbers from Devin Booker, you figure Kevin Durant can still have one of those impactful games where he does a little bit of everything on the floor, reminds you of who he is. And then they got swept, and Anthony Edwards made a statement. It was his coming out party to the world, if you did not know about the Ant-Man. And for Phoenix, that's not a coaching problem. And same thing for the Lakers. They're not a better team in that series if it's Frank Vogel or Darvin Ham.
Or Red Auerbach or Phil Jackson.
It wasn't a coaching problem for Los Angeles against the Denver Nuggets.
I agree. All right, college athletics, man. It's somewhat stunning at the rate in which things are changing, adjusting, evolving. The SEC and the Big Ten are basically what's going to run college athletics, at least at the very top right now. And the SEC and the Big Ten are at the center of Dennis Dodd printed the story on CBS, or dropped the story last night, CBS Sports, a revenue sharing plan. A revenue sharing plan with players. This would redefine college athletics. So CBS Sports is reporting that this proposal, they're using the name modern model, but whatever, that could change. It wouldn't only share revenue with the players, but also help to settle this House versus NCAA lawsuit that's going to trial in January. It's an antitrust lawsuit. It's a class action complaint. It's alleging that the NCAA and power conferences have conspired to suppress athletes' compensation. And this is real, man. And the NCAA, and I think the conferences to the same extent, are petrified of the litigation, as they should be, because they continue to lose. And everything is being ruled in favor of the players. And so the lawsuit is a huge hurdle as players and as the programs plan college athletics, because settlement money, the estimates are, could cost each university between $15 and $20 million. You're like, yeah, whatever, dude. They get so much money anyway. But they're all operating underwater. ESPN reported yesterday that the Power Four conferences are in deep discussions regarding revenue sharing. Now, it's not sure where that revenue would come from, how it would be distributed, but there's real conversation going on. Both ESPN and CBS are reporting that. JJ, the revenue sharing idea evidently came from the SEC Big Ten Joint Advisory Group. They announced it back in February. The whole concept that we're actually talking about revenue sharing with the players. Now, I don't know if that would take the place of or be I got to believe in addition to NIL, right? So everybody gets their share and then go out and get your own. And I mean, players can do pretty well here in the next few years.
Players are going to do really well, and this is the breaking point for Division I athletics as we know it.
I think you're right.
No way for the Group of Five to maintain any sort of pretend let's play the same game as those guys.
Right, because they would share at a different level, and look, that level can't be there. And you factor in the unlimited transfers, the portal, and the NIL, plus what revenue sharing is going to mean. That's why you're seeing dudes just leave. So, like Lamont Butler left San Diego State the other day and went to Kentucky. I'm hearing he got about $400,000. The portal closes.
But at that
basketball.
point, I would expect guys to just leave and not, Kentucky, you can talk yourself into, even from San Diego State to Kentucky, why you'd make that move. But then you're talking about Vanderbilt and all these teams just at the bottom, which we're just buy up all the talent and try to be just as competitive.
Yeah, no, it's going to be really hard for Mountain West, Conference USA, MAC, Sunbelt, American, because the revenue will not be there to share. But to the same token, there's only so many. How many teams are going to be at the top? And there's only so many places for players to play. There's always going to be players. But when a guy excels at your level, you're just JJ. I mean, a guy who's going to be there for a minute is going to be fewer and farther between. Fewer and farther. Does that even make sense?
If it is, revenue sharing, and it gets to the point where these schools then can also add to the payments of athletes,
correct,
with NIL, whatever that system ends up being, it's a model that if you're at the bottom of the Big Ten or SEC, just
hold on,
just go buy all the best players from the Group of Five.
That's
and
right.
If you're a Group of Five player, you're like, well, I don't really care that you might be in last place. Like, there's $600,000. Let's go. Like,
it may be the most these guys ever earned. I mean, look, I don't know. I'm going to guess the majority of people that listen to this show have never earned $600,000 in a year. I'm not. Many of you have. Many of you have not. Right. And if you're a college player and that's on the table, how do you not do it? How do you not? You may love San Diego or Albuquerque or Boise, but Ames, Iowa is paying you a lot more money, right? Stillwater, Oklahoma's got the money. State College, Pennsylvania. I mean, that's where it is. One sports law attorney, his name is Mitt Winter, told CBS this is the case that could end the NCAA. And I know a lot of you are going, good, NCAA is garbage, and look, the NCAA has made a lot of mistakes. Initially, it was there to protect players, and it probably hasn't been doing that. But the amount of money in this antitrust case, damages sought could be tripled if the case goes to jury. And if the NCAA loses, they could be on the hook. Let me give you a number. And again, we throw numbers around, and sometimes they get lost. The NCAA could lose $4.2 billion with a B dollars. USA Today's got a sports economics expert for the plaintiffs who said that 7,000 current and former athletes would be entitled to a piece of that money. $4.2 billion. Where's that coming from? So they're trying to settle this thing, get it done before it goes to trial in January. Because if they lose, and they've been losing a lot, man, $4.2 billion. I don't care who or what you are. That is a gigantic number. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Kenny Thomas scheduled to be with us coming up at 9 o'clock. We'll kick it with Kenny and get through the NBA stuff and transfer portal. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report is sponsored.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like and shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay. Thank you.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Next in line,
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE.
Are you sitting down? Told you, man, guys, wait till the end on this thing, and it's real. JT Toppin is in the portal. It's breaking all over. Field of 68's reporting it. It's where else did I see it? I mean, it's all over the place. JT Toppin, the Lobos Mountain West Freshman of the Year, is in the portal. Jamie Shaw's got it. On3 Sports has it. It is. What I tell you about, I don't know, when did we start the show? 2 hours ago? I told you I had a weird feeling that guys wait till the end, that you rode this thing out, and you said it's going to hurt Lobo fan more that it happens at the very end than it would have on the 17th or on the 13th or on the 1st. I'm hearing stories that he may go to Texas. I'm hearing there's $600,000 to $700,000 being thrown at him in NIL money. But this is real, and Lobo fan, man, oh man, this one hurts, huh?
Always expect the unexpected. This one is going to sting. This is going to turn off even more college basketball fans, Lobo basketball fans, and it's a process that you're never going to fully shut down. Opportunities are going to arise. You're never going to do something where you're going to be able to match the money, and so the next step is, within this system, what can you do to compete? And what I thought was, looking at 2-year windows, you're pretty much just looking at
1 year.
1 year windows. Year to year, if you have a great season, then you need to understand that you're going to have to retool, and you're going to have to try to win someone's best player, a really high upside piece out of the portal to add back to your team and keep it rolling.
It's Richard Pitino said this. It is 1 year deal. You got to get old and stay old. You used to build programs, and you can't build programs anymore, especially at this level. And I don't even think at any level, man. There's 2,000 plus guys in the portal. And look through the portal. It's just not guys leaving Mountain West, Conference USA, A10, going to the power conferences. It's guys leaving those places and open up spots. But we'll talk to Kenny Thomas about this when we come back. You can get in at 505-246-0610. JT Toppin is in the portal. The portal closes tomorrow, but the Lobo Freshman of the Year is in the portal. The Lobo Freshman, the Conference Freshman of the Year, is in the portal, and this one, this one stings. Especially you wrote it out all month, and now here you are, 30-something hours away from closing the portal, and that's where it is. Kenny's with us next. We'll kick it with Kenny Thomas on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquerque. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Evergard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
AM 610, the sports animal.
Looking forward to kicking with Kenny Thomas today. A big day in the NBA and big local news. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. J.T. Toppin is in the transfer portal. News came down just a short while ago. The portal closes tomorrow. I saw what you said. I can read lips, Kenny Thomas. I might be a long way away, but I can read lips. What's up, Kenny Thomas?
Man.
Yeah, I can read your lips.
Wow, where we gonna start? Because
right there, man. Yeah?
Jesus.
So the portal closes tomorrow at 11:59, and I started the show today, and I've been hearing whispers, and I'm hearing Texas and Baylor and coming after him, and I hear there's $600,000 to $700,000 being thrown at him in NIL money. But Kenny, the portal closes, and I said, are you getting more nervous? Like, we all take our time. How many things do you do at the last minute? Right? People are saying, well, if they didn't enter by now, they're not going to enter. I don't know, man. Bills, applications, how many of us take it all the way down to the deadline? And the deadline's tomorrow. And so why are we to believe that nothing's going to happen? And boom, here it happened today. I think this could be a stunner for a lot of Lobo fans.
It's beyond a stunner, right? Because, like you said, you would think if there was something rocky there, like it would have happened sooner, like with Mashburn, right? Like I even congratulated him. He's going to Temple. And you got to do what you got to do in general. I'm a little stunned from the standpoint of, I get it. It's about money to a certain extent, but why not stay here for a couple $100,000 less, right? Or whatever that may be. But hey, that young man got to do what's best for him, and I'm stunned right now because of how dominating he was last year. And you just thought, from the standpoint of coming back, like how that could have been, like making a statement in the Mountain West Conference. It might not have been a big conference like you think it should be from the competition side of it, like these other big conferences. But that's why I stayed. I stayed in the WAC, and I felt like it was home, but at the same time, I would have to sit out a year. But now guys get opportunities to play right away and make some huge NIL money.
Look, man, it'd have been tough for you. I mean, if you were playing in this age and the money that's being thrown around, and let's just say, let's say you're making $250, $300 here, and it's home. And let's just say you're in this age, right? And I don't know. There's an opportunity for you, the way you were playing, who you were. If you're playing today, you got an opportunity to go to a power conference and make double, $600,000, $500,000, whatever it is. Yeah. How would you justify staying here? That's what I thought.
I was the no. I was the man, yo. It was my squad. Like,
yep.
I could have went anywhere in the country. I could have. Dean Smith was supposed to come have lunch with me. I didn't go through it because I committed to New Mexico. It felt right. I had a conversation with Charles Smith and Clayton Shields, and it just felt right. I could have went anywhere in the country, but 18,000 people. He had 15,000. I get it. It's gonna be interesting to see how things end up with these guys transferring out and how they end up playing in these other big conferences, I guess.
Yeah.
They don't care about playing in the big conference.
Say it again.
They don't care that it's about, if you're JT Top and you're leaving the University of New Mexico, it's because you're getting what he thinks he's probably getting at least $500,000.
It should be about getting the best numbers and making it to the NBA, because this NIL money is good money, but this NBA money, these guys are making 15 guys. The salary cap is $140 million right now. When I played, it was about $45-50 million for 15 guys. And you had one guy like an Allen Iverson making $20 million, and then everybody else, you're around like 10 or something like that or below, right? Obviously, it's about getting to the NBA. It's about numbers and it's about production. That's 600,000. You got to pay taxes on that also.
Yeah.
Half of it's gone.
Yeah, but see, there's the other piece of this is, and I think JT Toppin's going to make money playing pro ball and very possibly in the NBA, and we'll see if he's an NBA guy. But there's other guys, Kenny, that you got to factor in this. So a guy like Lamont Butler, who transferred from San Diego State to Kentucky, what I'm hearing, he increased from like $200,000 to $400,000 in NIL money. He's probably not I don't think he's an NBA player. He's been a good college player, and so a lot of these guys they're going to make more money in their college careers than they ever will annually playing pro ball.
What's the minimum salary right now?
The majority of these guys aren't going to the NBA. Is my point.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, so then you go overseas and you still get an opportunity to make this type of money too as well. Only thing I'm saying is if you're at a squad where like Butler, San Diego State, right? He had a pretty good year before he had a little bit better year, but that team is growing. Players want to come to a winning team. That's why the North Carolinas and the Dukes and all those guys get top 5 or top whatever it is that go to those schools. So I feel like if JT would have stayed here, it could have been a thing to where, hey, guys want to come and play with him. That's the way it went with me. But I don't know. I want it every year.
Yeah, you did. Kenny Thomas is here, but it's just a different day.
I totally get it, man. I'm not saying don't go get your money, but I just see it a little differently. But yeah.
JJ, this one, how do you replace him? Now you got.
You don't find a player of his caliber right away.
Who, JT?
Yeah.
Oh man,
not at all.
That's like. That's my whole point of me saying what I'm saying. That's like, how long has it been since there's been like a dominant 4/5 and that can shoot from behind the perimeter that's been as dominating as him in the post? Come on, you guys.
Around here?
Yeah. That went to UNM. And in a while. I'm not saying in general. It seems like how long you guys think
he had
that's
the biggest upside since the last 2 years of Cameron Bairstow. But that took Bairstow
2 years to get there.
See, that's what I'm saying.
As a freshman was that.
That's what I'm saying. As a freshman, I'm not trying to talk about myself, but outside of me and him, who else has been that person?
Alex Kirk was good, but he couldn't take it outside like that. Alex Kirk was a good post player. He was a good presence in the middle, but probably not of that caliber.
Yeah.
And Alex Kirk had a taste of the NBA.
See what I'm saying? I'm like, I saw like another me, but not me, right? Like staying, impacting. I felt like, hey, I got a question for you guys. What if he stayed and then they rallied around the 505 stuff and this community all pitched in and gave more money?
That would have been great. I just, at some point, how are you going to be able to keep up with them? Kenny, I was telling JJ earlier, the collectives are going to be a big piece of this. And let's see where this goes. I mean, there's that thing talking about revenue sharing now in the NCAA at the power school level. But there's a Big 12 school, and I was talking to someone yesterday who their collective almost didn't make their payments, their last payments for basketball, because they're running out of money. And in the current model where you're paying into a collective, look, what Kurt Roth is doing in 505 Sports Ventures is unbelievable. And within its peer institutions, within the Mountain West, it's as good as there is. But let's just say the rumors are true. We'll see where JT ends up. But how do you compete with Texas and Baylor or Oklahoma or SC schools? And if they're throwing, let's just say the number, I don't know. I don't know what JT was making here, but let's say he was making $250 here. It's pretty good money for a college basketball player. Someone's throwing $600,000 at him, $700,000. How's he going to say no?
I get it. I totally agree with you. I was just giving you my opinion, which is outside of just taking the money. But I totally get it, man. You got to go get that payday to a certain extent. And like you said, some of these guys are not going to make it to the NBA. And then once you get to the NBA, you have to stick. And there's a lot of different factors that have to come into play. You have to play a certain way. Each team I was on, out of the 3 teams, Houston, Philly, and Sacramento, to a certain extent, I had a different role. Coming out of college, it was different because I was always having my hands on the ball in college. then I had to figure out how to stay on the floor. The right team, right situation, right coach, right. I would say flow of play on how the play is going. It's just a lot of different things, but he will get an opportunity on some pro level to a certain extent. I think Mashburn will as well.
All right. So that's the news this morning.
Man, that's
So you didn't know that until I said that?
Nope, didn't know.
Sorry to break the news to you. I think I broke it to a lot of people, huh?
I was out in California the last week. I was in San Jose for a wine event that I just launched in Silicon Valley, where got the Capital Club, private club through United Clubs.com, who's going to actually have me flying to some other places to launch.
Look at you, big winemaker
and
guy.
Then BKFC, Knucklemania 4 was in LA this past Saturday. Bare Knuckles got approved in California, so we're going to do some stuff in Sacramento and probably San Jose.
Nice. That's really good. Congratulations on all the success and welcome home. Maybe I'll see you in person next Friday.
You will. June 8th. Looks like we're having our first fights at Isleta Casino. Stay tuned for that. It's going to be good.
Good. All right, when we come back, you want to talk some NBA?
Yeah, let's do it.
Nuggets.
Some crappy Lakers, man. I already know where you're going.
Nuggets sweep the Lakers. What does it mean? Do you break up the Lakers? What does it mean for the Nuggets as they go into their next one, which I think is going to be tough? Kenny Thomas is here. We're kicking it with Kenny on the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquet. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses.
Mountain West Conference Freshman of the Year entered the transfer portal today. Portal closes tomorrow for guys who want to get in, but that's big news. And now you're looking for a big guy if you're UNM. Kenny Thomas is here with us. It's to NBA. Crazy game last night. Crazy series. Lakers lose 4-1 to the Nuggets. The winner last night, Jamal Murray with the running floater, 108-106. Just impressions. Was it last night more about the Nuggets or the Lakers, Kenny?
It was more about the Lakers coming out with a little bit more pride, right? And obviously, the Nuggets are a squad that has had the Lakers number for the last one. The Lakers have won 1 out of the last 12 games. Before they won at home. I was actually in LA for game 4 when the Lakers actually won that. It was insane downtown. But the Nuggets, man, you don't have an answer for them. They have so many different weapons. And the way that Joker plays, from the standpoint of getting everybody involved on a continuous basis. Murray, he's playing at a high level right now. It's good to have him back in the swing of things based off of him being hurt the last couple of years and feeling better, right? But you got to look out for Porter Jr. I feel like he's going to make a good splash, and you got Gordon. Gordon's playing some great ball, man, and their bench has been playing some good ball, especially coming in, probably averaging about 20, 30 points from a bench perspective. Or it might be more than that. It might be a little bit around more 30 points from the bench, just depending on the situation. Yeah.
LeBron, after the game, was asked, does he stay with the Lakers? There was a report this morning, I saw it on the Twitter, that the Lakers are willing to draft Bronny just to keep LeBron there. LeBron was asked, does he stay? He says, I'm not going to answer that as he played his last game. JJ and I had this conversation. JJ, I think you agree with me. The Lakers aren't far off. They lost 4-1, but every game was competitive. If they get a shooter, they get another big, they're not that far off to make another run with LeBron. Do you disagree with that?
You asking JJ or me?
You.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, bud. I feel like there are a couple pieces that's missing. You felt like that trade when they got the guard, I forgot his name, from Brooklyn. Like he was going to come in and make an impact, and he didn't.
Dinwiddie.
Yeah, him. And then Russell, I think he played very well this year, especially in the postseason compared to last year. They are going to need probably another 3-4 and probably a backup for AD. But I feel like the Lakers are going to make a splash. And it's obvious, man. I don't see LeBron leaving LA. Like, that would be crazy, especially with Hollywood and all the different things that he has going on. And his son's there. His son's going to
if his son's there.
Yeah. I feel like whenever his son comes out or whatever happens, he's going to end up with his dad. LeBron has that much power.
Kenny Thomas is with us. We're kicking it with Kenny here on the Sports Animal.
Minnesota Timberwolves.
Oh yeah, Ant-Man, you called it.
Anthony Edwards. I guess you look at the Suns, and they tried to go all in, and there's still you still have to have balance to win in the postseason. That team just did not have the balance.
No, man, I didn't expect, and I'm gonna give you credit once again. I actually picked the Suns to win that series just based off of experience, and I felt like KD was gonna be able to come out and play better. KD hasn't had a good series, especially being a part of a big three since the Warriors. I think it's like 2019. I've seen so many different things as far as KD. He didn't ever feel comfortable. You could tell. Obviously, everything started with Booker. Bill, I expected more from him this year. But the way that Minnesota came out and just dominated that game, you could tell that Ant-Man just kept getting more and more comfortable. And the love that KD gave him after they swept him, right? Like, I did not see a sweep coming at all. I figured it would have been 6 or 7 games, Suns. But, yeah, Minnesota's playing some great ball.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic series, Minnesota and Denver, the matchups. Rudy Gobert trying to shut down Joker. But then you also have – and Jeff was pointing this out. For Oklahoma City, that was kind of a perfect first-round matchup.
Yeah.
Because if they're playing the Lakers, that's a different series for OKC. But it's the Pelicans team that doesn't have Zion. Yeah, CJ, Brandon Ingram, quote-unquote, veteran guys, but they did not have enough. And now the Thunder get to sit back and watch Dallas and the Clippers battle each other. But what does that do for a team like OKC, getting that first series victory under their belt?
Well, just to touch on Minnesota, you got Anthony Towns over there too. So that's going to be nice to see how that ends up unfolding from that matchup. But you got OKC that's playing some great ball. There was a time to where, I think in game 2 or 3, to where it felt like New Orleans was going to get one of them or two of them. But OKC, the way that they're consistent and the way that they're playing some great young ball is good. I did not expect them to actually beat the Pelicans the way they did. So the fact that they have some time off, that could be a good thing, that could be a bad thing, having too much time off in between the series. But when it comes to the Clippers and the Mavericks, that's going to go down to the wire, I feel like. It's going to be 7. And game 7 is in Clippers. It's in LA. So probably the Clippers in 7.
I want to go back to the Suns. I don't have a problem with them losing. I think Minnesota was better. A team with Anthony Davis, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal should not get swept. And I want you said earlier, you said pride when you talked about the Lakers. Look, I get it. They're constructed poorly. They don't have a point guard. There's things that they need to work on. Dude, they should not be getting swept. I landed here in Phoenix yesterday and was listening to a lot of the stuff, and they're in mourning here. They really, when they got Bradley Beal, they thought they were going to win an NBA championship.
Because Bradley Beal could actually handle the ball, but he's actually more of a 2. And he's been more of a scorer on the previous teams that he's played on. So I felt like if they would have had like a more traditional point guard that would score after the fact of trying to get those guys set up, and then it might not have been a bad idea to bring Bill off the bench, because he could have been a great 3 and still had a good solid point guard if he came in for like KD or Booker. But I'm hearing that Booker's not even happy in Phoenix. It's kind of ironic, because lately everybody's been wanting out of Phoenix. So what's going on with that organization right
now? I wonder if it's ownership too. You got a young, brash new owner, and I wonder if that's it. It's hard for me to look at Frank Vogel. Both Frank Vogel, the coach of the Suns, and Darvin Ham, the coach of the Lakers, are taking heat, and will they get fired? And with all due respect, sometimes I guess it's coaching. I don't know, Kenny, you know better than I. I look at the way those two teams are constructed. Lakers were really close. Denver was better. Yeah. And Frank Vogel, it wasn't his fault that you didn't go out and get him a point guard.
No, you have. This is never going to change. It's always going to get blamed on the coach when something doesn't go right, especially from the top. And the players, obviously, I feel like the players are the ones that impact the game. Obviously, the coach has to make the right rotations. That's where he impacts the game. But both of those teams expected something else this year, and it just didn't happen. So it's going to come down to what does LeBron want, and if Booker's going to be there, man. Because I don't see KD there. I don't know how many more years he got, but nowadays, shoot, you can get out of there and go wherever you want.
I think KD back to Golden State's really interesting. Right
Yeah,
now.
I see. Somebody even said that to me, and somebody get this. Somebody said that LeBron's gonna go to the Warriors and Bronny's gonna go to the Warriors. I'm like, that makes no sense.
Yeah,
Well, there's no cap room.
Yeah, that too, but that makes no sense.
And
Like,
at some point in time, too, if you're Kevin Durant, like you've gotten everything you've wanted, and yet there's still stories coming out. Well, I wasn't comfortable in my role. Or I didn't like this. Like you've made every decision in your career. At
Yeah.
what point are you just going to look at yourself and say, I'm taking over?
yeah. I really did expect him to take over a little bit more. I just didn't see him being as aggressive as he was like with Steph and the Warriors. It just felt like everything went through him. Steph even knew it, but Steph was going to get his regardless. Clay even knew it. I feel like everybody kind of accepted it, but it was just a different situation in Phoenix, especially with Booker. That's Booker's team, regardless of if KD's on it or whoever else to a certain extent. And think about CP3 didn't even fit in there.
Yeah. All right. Big news again. I'm looking at the text line. It says, hey, fellas, I just saw, it says, I just saw a post that says JT Toppin is in the portal. Is this true? And, I mean, people literally, JJ, we had this conversation. Kenny, I before you were in, JJ and I had this conversation, with the deadline coming up, I won't be surprised if JT Toppin hits the portal, and he did.
Wow.
And because it happened so late, I want to close on this. Do you think it hurts more? I mean, the ultimate is the ultimate, right? He's leaving. But does it hurt more than if he would have declared on the 13th or 17th as opposed to, man, the day before the deadline, you wrote it out to the very end?
Obviously, he creeped in to test the waters as far as like the NBA draft, right? And that process. I'm not surprised. Obviously, somebody's in here there and telling him, hey, you can get this. That's why he hopped in. And once again, he got to go get his money. But it's gonna be interesting to see where he ends up going and watching him and see how it's gonna unfold. I'm going to be talking about him in Mashburn on my post-game Lobo show this year. I'm gonna have to just to see like what's going on and see how those guys are doing compared to if they would have stayed here. So.
Yeah. All right, man. We'll see you on Friday. Thanks for coming in today.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I got one more announcement. I got an in-store appearance at Albertsons this coming Friday from 4 to 6. It's 12,201 Academy Road. The one up there by Tramway and Academy. I will be there from 4 to 6 doing some signings for my wine. Come by, check me out. Appreciate you guys.
We'll see you on Friday. Kenny Thomas, former Lobo great, 11-year NBA veteran, and it's great talking hoops with Kenny. All right, take your phone calls at 505-246-0610. I've got reaction from you on JT Toppin in the portal next. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Travis Kelce's.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquerque. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rosendo Najar here, president of Carpenters Local 1319.
Juan Junior Gonzalez, warden of Local 1319. Some people have a misconception about what a carpenter does.
The carpentry trade entails more than just woodworking or building houses. We are responsible for 85% of a construction job site. Everything from the superintendent on down. We have a great apprenticeship program. Information can be found on our website.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers, underage friends to consume alcohol on your property,
opt back in like Braden Applehans did, but JT Toppin is in the transfer portal. The portal closes tomorrow night, and I know you were getting to the point where you were almost home, and he was still Lobo, but the deadline's tomorrow. And like I told you earlier, guys, I mean, we all tend to stretch things all the way to the deadline. How many of us, filing taxes or whatever it is, setting in a bill? So that happened this morning. This one is from Jack. He says, I didn't think Toppin was that great, Jeffy. If someone wants to throw a ton of money at him, you wish him good luck and move on. He's pretty damn good, dude.
Yeah, JT Toppin was a very good basketball player with a tremendous upside to what he was able to accomplish as a freshman. And this is one where it's going to have a lot of people screaming, what do we do to keep the players? Even if you had, say, 1-year deals in place, it would still be the end of a 1-year deal. Or do you force the player, not force, but do you put it out there, say, do you want to sign 1, 2, 3, 4-year contracts somewhere? Because that's the way it's going. If the players, these student athletes, want these opportunities and want to be employees, and then you're going to have a much more professional model where I think that could be on the table. But then you'd still have these guys saying, well, I'll just sign a year deal. And so these things are still going to happen.
Text line says, in this day and age of college basketball, you never know what's going to happen. As a diehard Lobo fan, I only want players here who truly want to be here. So good luck to the kid. Go Lobos. Okay. Rudy, 505-246-0610. Rudy, you're on the Sports Animal. Hi, Rudy. Good morning. All right, no Rudy? That's fine. We'll continue. 505-246-0610 if you want to get in. So now you're in the portal, and look, I got to believe that if you're Richard Pitino, this doesn't stun you. I know for a fact that there's a lot of bigs in the portal. There's a couple guys from BYU. There's guys. I mean, I know that there's guys he's looking at. Will they be as good as JT Toppin? We'll come back and we'll see. I don't know the answer, but this is one where welcome to 2024 college basketball, and as good as the collective is and what Kurt and 505 Ventures is doing, at some point you're going to get outgunned by bigger ammunition, right? By bigger artillery. And, this is the fear. Like, when it comes to people say, why would Richard Pitino want to leave? Well, why? Because he wants to go to a place where at some point where they've got the money to be the poachers and not the poached. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And now this is about development relationships when you have these 1-year windows, and the Lobos were able to land 2 good freshmen. They've been able to develop Donovan Dent and add portal pieces. So you can't complain about it because it's something that's helped your program. Like, the Lobos are here because of the transfer portal, because of the establishing the foundation with Jalen House and Jamal Mashburn Jr., bringing in Nelly Jr. Joseph last season. So it gives and it takes, and it's frustrating. And this is one that was going to sting Lobo fans regardless when it happened. It hurts a lot more the day before because you have the countdown. You get to this point, you see the finish line of, hey, the portal's going to close. It's about retention. We're going to keep our players. And the young man makes the decision. It's hard to wrap your mind around, but it's also one that there's really nothing you can do to prevent this. Because even if you were to say you got to sign somewhere, be forcing a player to sign 3-year deals, 4-year deals, what are the outs going to be? There's still a lot of unknowns, but the only known thing is there's a boatload of players still available.
Yep.
And there's
good ones.
There's talent out there.
Yeah. No, there's good players out there, and I think that's where Lobo fans got to be at this point, because the reality is the reality, and I think you're right. For the most part, the Lobos have benefited more than they've been beaten in the transfer portal. They've got guys in, to your point, Jamal Mashburn Jr., Jalen House, Nelly Jr. Joseph. I mean, you can go back to Drew Gordon and Danny Granger, and right. I mean, they benefited more from guys coming in than they have been hurt by guys going out. I'm not going to pretend this one doesn't hurt. I mean, this one stings. But you're not the only ones getting beaten on this thing. Look, at some point, reality was going to hit. It hit San Diego State, who played in the national championship game a year ago. They lost Keyshawn Johnson, who was a big piece, to Arizona. They just lost Lamont Butler, who hit the big shot in the Final Four to put him in the championship game. He went to Kentucky. You're not the only one. And by the way, FAU, same thing. FAU was in the Final Four 2 years ago, or a year ago, I mean, however you want to look at it. And they just not only lost their best player, they lost their coach to Michigan, right? But guys are leaving Kentucky and leaving Michigan and leaving Alabama and leaving North Carolina. There's over 2,000 players in the portal. And I'm not even, I'm talking myself through it, JJ, as if somehow it's going to make you feel better. It doesn't.
We use a player like JT Toppin that has
an
incredible ceiling, that just was Mountain West Freshman of the Year. So excited about it. And it's one that you have to adjust your mindset. And I know people don't want to, and I understand, because we all grew up a certain way. This is the way college athletics is. This is the way pro sports is. And now those lines are blurred, and you have to start supporting your college team like you do your pro team. You don't care that a Duke leaves because it's free agency and they bring in other guys. Like, you're happy about it half the time. It's the same sense that people had with Jamal Mashburn Jr.
Yeah.
So when you want to push someone out, when a kid leaves, you can't sit there and then start crying about the system. Like, you just have to realize this is a professional style system. So just like you might root for whatever NFL team is, and just because it wasn't the way it is, it's the way you have to handle the system now.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. All right, so that's the reality of the situation. You can get in at 505-246-0610 Again, emails Jeff@sportsanimalabq.com and JJ@sportsanimalabq.com. When we come back, we'll wrap this thing up. Everything you got to know as you go through your Tuesday. I'll get the correspondence that I have not gotten to yet, and still time for your calls at 505-246-0610 on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Show that shit better than all my intentions. Locked in, show that you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
What's going on? Who are you guys? Well, sir, I'm going to pick you up at the DWI checkpoint for drunk driving.
And that's when I have to come down to get you out of jail.
Well, temporarily. I'm Judge Torres. They call him the Hammer. Hey, hot off the presses, champ.
I'm real proud of you, honey.
Way to make them happy back home, Captain. Who's that? That's your new buddy in jail.
I'm going out, Grandma.
When are you coming home?
I'll be home late. Don't wait up, okay?
Be careful, mijito.
Love you, Grandma.
Mijito. He's a good man. Sometimes he just makes bad decisions. I tell him, mijito, cuidado. Be careful. You might hurt someone. He doesn't listen.
I tell you to stop, okay?
Hello. It's me.
Hi, mijo. Where are you?
Dale was drinking and driving. I need you to come and get me, okay? Please, Grandma? Can you just come and get me? Grandma?
Leave him in jail.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every
morning is Tuesday morning. And the news this morning, and it's kind of crazy, JJ, the shock. Like, I got a couple buddies. Like just heard Toppin's in the portal. Is this true? And people are kind of losing their mind. Yeah, JT Toppin is in the transfer portal. It broke this morning, and I'm hearing a lot of different things, and we'll see where he ends up. You got to believe it'll be good NIL money at. He's from Texas. I'm hearing Texas schools, and I'm hearing big numbers. But the reality is the reality, and JT Toppin's in the transfer portal the day before the portal closes.
And here we go.
Yeah. No, and it's up to Richard now. Go, he'll find other players to fill out that roster, and they'll probably be pretty good. Now, will it be that good? He was. There's no ease in this pain on this. The guy was really, really good. All right. Other stuff. Ken's in. Says, you realize there's a major next week, Jeff? All eyes will be on Tiger Woods and whether he makes a verbal commitment this week. All right, maybe. The Derby's this week, JJ. Carl says, I think JJ agrees with me. This is the second most overrated event in sports next to Army Navy football. My opinion, for the next 4 days, these 20 horses will be hyped like global basketball recruits as being the best thing ever. Then, just like global basketball players, Sunday, they'll start entering the transfer portal. We'll never hear from most of them again. Fair analogy to some take. Talked a lot about the Nuggets and the Lakers. And Bourne says, here's a L.A. Lakers hot take. Jeff, maybe if they do something in the regular season and they don't have to go through the play-in game and they face the Nuggets in the Final Four instead of the Sweet 16. There's something to it. And with all due respect, with Anthony Davis playing 73 games and LeBron playing most of the games, Lakers shouldn't have been in the position that they are. They shouldn't have been fighting for a 7th seed. Lakers probably should have been somewhere between 3 and 6, don't you think?
Not 3. But 4.
In that mix, right? 4, 5, 6?
3 was 57.
Okay.
Yeah, they were 4th. They had some injuries to their rotation players. And it's right. There's no excuses. Being 2-3 games back, that's the difference of being the 6th seed. All right, you play Minnesota in the first round. There's no easy matchup.
No, there's not.
So, because I'm not looking at that series saying they're beating Minnesota.
Look, put them in the 4-5 series against either Dallas or the Clippers. You like them?
Feel better about that. Maybe even if they were actually a worse position.
8 playing Oklahoma City.
But them as a 6 against Minnesota, I think it's the same outcome for them.
I think that's probably right. I don't think there's anything easier, right? Anything easy in the West. No, are there better matchups and worse matchups? Yeah, there are. But his point isn't lost on me that why is this team in the damn play-in every year? Because the West is really good? Yeah, but should they be as good as the Clippers? How good were the damn Suns? The Mavericks? In that 4, 5, 6?
The Suns won 49 games. The Lakers won 47 games.
Yeah, they were right there.
They're 2 games back, being the 6th seed and having to play Minnesota, who, by the way, I've been saying 57. My bad. They've won 56 games. Did the Timberwolves.
Damn you. But it's like you think back to that Tuesday night in Cleveland in November, right? When they got away. And they count. It's a long, long season. It seems so meaningless, but it really did come down to just a few games. And look, I don't know. We'll never know if they'd have tanked and played New Orleans in that elimination game, and then when they got to Oklahoma City, would it be any? I don't know. I don't. Nor do you. But there's a lot of speculation out there, and there's a lot of talking about it. Lobo Hobo says, does Bronco Mendenhall equal Bob Davie? I'm like, whoa. First of all, where are you now, Jeffy? What do you think about Lobo fans telling me the atmosphere around Lobo football has become more business, like Bob Davie, than the rah-rah we've seen the last 4 seasons? I would tell you it probably is more business now than it has been the last 4. Like business-like. And that doesn't mean Danny wasn't business. Danny was a different guy, and every coach has their different way. Is it, JJ, I don't know, does the atmosphere feel more like Bob Davie type than Danny? No, it doesn't even feel that to me. It feels Bronco type, if that makes any sense. I think there's more than just, it's got to be one way or the other way. There's more than 2 ways. It feels like it's Broncos' way right now around that program. If you had to lean, was it one or the other? Yeah, probably more towards Bob Davie. By the way, Bob Davie had a 9-win season here and went to 2 bowl games.
That's the way it is. It's always a 180 from the style before. The feeling around it is going to be different. The access is going to be different. And that's what happens when you have coaching change.
Yeah, I don't know that I think it's bad. And so if that's what you're asking me, Bourne, the answer is it feels more like Bronco Mendenhall to me than it does, anything else. All right, here's what people are going to be talking about as you go through your day. First and foremost, JT Toppin is in the transfer portal, and around the Borque and around global basketball, that's going to be the big conversation, and your buddies are all going to be asking you about it. But that is a fact, and he's in the portal today. Nuggets beat the Lakers last night, 108-106. Jamal Murray hits a running, fading jumper with 3.6 seconds to go. Nuggets eliminate the Lakers 4-1. LeBron James was asked after the game, did you play your last game as a Laker? He said, I'm not going to answer that. Oklahoma City beat the Pelicans, eliminated New Orleans 4-0. The score last night was 97-89. Oklahoma City will advance to the next round of the playoffs. They await the winner of the Mavericks and Clippers. That series is tied 2 games apiece. And the Boston Celtics beat Miami last night, 102-88 in Florida. Celtics have a 3-1 lead in that series. Travis Kelce got a 2-year, $34.25 million contract extension with the Kansas City Chiefs. And I got there's one on the text line for you, JJ. Let me find it exactly. It says, do you think, JJ, do the Avs finish off the Jets tonight? The Avs could be an extremely dangerous team to play in the playoffs.
Well, they have a 3-1 series lead. Bounce back after the crazy game 1 where they gave up 7 goals to Winnipeg. They've been dominating on the power play. They are going to win the series. It'll be tonight, or because they have to go back to Winnipeg. And I think the Jets could pull one out and send it back to Denver for Game 6. I still think the team to watch out for is Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
They to me, be the favorites in the West just because they got help. Amazing what they did to circumvent the cap issues, because you have guys in IR, you can acquire as much salary as you want and then bring those guys back. And that's exactly what Vegas did. So they are immensely talented and ahead of the Stars right now in that series.
Yeah. All right. This is interesting to me. The A's, Oakland Athletics, have hired a firm to help them raise $500 million for their new Las Vegas stadium. Does that stadium ever get built?
It doesn't feel like it's going to.
Are they actually going to move to Vegas?
They might end up tearing down Tropicana.
Right, which is shut.
Then, guess what? A new casino resort's going to go up.
Yeah, they keep adding water to the ground. They pop up there. This also is something that's going to be big this morning, and as you go through the day. There is a report that the Lakers are open to drafting Bronny James to keep LeBron there. Bronny, of course, in the transfer portal, just completed his freshman season at USC, and there's a report out that they would draft Bronny. Now, look, somebody could draft Bronny before, couldn't they? I mean, where do the Lakers pick? Are they going to use their first-round pick on Bronny? Would they use a second-round pick thinking nobody else will get him? I mean, that's going to be an interesting little strategy, right?
It's going to be a fascinating strategy because the draft is before free agency. Now, I don't know what the exact player option dates are on contracts when you have to make that decision, but it is not crazy to think a team would just pull the trigger on Bronny and be like, can we get 2 years of LeBron James?
Seriously.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm Portland. I'm Orlando. I'm San Antonio. Yeah, the Athletic is reporting the Lakers are open to the prospect of drafting Bronny. That would fulfill LeBron's widely talked about dream of playing alongside his son in the NBA. Lakers have the 17th overall pick in the NBA draft. Now, that could be conveyed to the Pelicans as part of the Anthony Davis trade in 2019 if the Pelicans opt to take the Lakers' first-round pick this year. Why wouldn't they? Then the Lakers will only have 2 second-round picks at their disposal. Why wouldn't New Orleans take it instead of deferring to next year? You got to figure the Lakers will be better next year if they keep LeBron, right? I want it now. All right, that's out there too. Thanks to Kenny Thomas. He came by today. It was nice to see him stop by for his segment and all. Kicking it with Kenny. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On is in at 4. You get Isotopes baseball tonight. Who's in town? Who are they playing this week?
Those guys.
All right, they'll play those guys this week. You want to come back and do it again tomorrow morning, 7 a.m.?
Let's do it.
All right. Big day for you?
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Adrian, great work on the visual side. Appreciate it. Be good to each other, please. Have a great, safe Tuesday. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing, and we'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.